just like, that probably won't stay in the video. May the 4th be with you. I'm always Au Lait. This is Perfume Vegas from my perfume closet. And yes, it's kind of cleaned up back there. I did some organizing, did a little fooling around with some of the stuff. There's, well, there's still some to be done, but I've got my Star Wars shirt on today. We are going to I'm going to try to hold off on doing any type of like really ridiculous speeches or anything. Let's just get into the video. So I was requested a video about perfume oils and what I have. I'm really just realizing this now as I am saying it out loud. The requester may have meant oils, scented oils, aromatherapy oils. I just assumed it was perfume oils, like perfume blend oils, just based on the fact that that's where my mind goes to when I hear like perfume. But in regards to single note aromatherapy oils, I don't have very many because I only use them for very specific reasons. I have a few blends for my room, like distiller vaporizer thing, and I have a few that I use in like herbal blends. But I don't have like a lot of single note perfume oils. So if that was the question, I can't answer that one. But if you were wondering about my perfume oils from indie brands, I think it's all indies. I don't think I have any mainstream designer or even like super niche perfume oils, or like the Middle Eastern brands do beautiful oils, but I don't have any of those. I have so many that if I get tired, I might just end it, or I'll do a second video, do 2 parts. It kind of depends on how I feel. I'm sorry about that. I wish my mood were better and I could do a long video or a 2-parter for you, but I don't know if I can do that. I do want to do some disclaimers. With indie products, I can never guarantee that any of these items will be in stock at any point in time. However, I have done my best to choose items that knowingly either I can tell you for a fact are not going to be in stock, or I can tell you for a fact when and where you might be able to find them in stock. Secondly, not all of these brands are easily available. Some are not available outside of the US. Some are only available in the US and Canada. So I apologize for international viewers that you may not be able to find some. Most that are sold on Etsy you should be able to get with international shipping. Others I'm not as sure about. Third, all of these except for one are from fragrance brands that are still active, that are still operating. I went out of my way to make sure that the brands themselves still existed, so that if you were interested, you could check them out. One, however, does not exist to my knowledge. They maybe have changed a name or done something like that, and if that's the case, please, I hope, if you know, let me know. But as far as I'm aware of, this brand doesn't exist anymore. The rest, I will let you know when that time comes. If there's any other disclaimers, I guess I will speak on them when we get to them. But for now, I'm just going to jump into it. So I'm not going to put these all on my body. I'm going to kind of go by brand. And each brand, I'm just going to be dabbing the oil onto this little cardboard piece, and then sniffing it. It's not going to be the best way to tell you how it smells on the skin, obviously, but all of these are scents that I own. I have so many, so I actually grabbed the sample sizes for almost all of these. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to tell you. Holy crap, I'm 5 minutes in and I haven't even started. The final thing I want to mention is linked up here or up here. There's a card for a video that is going to be my first impressions on a lot of indie perfume oils. And I believe there's some even that are niche. That aren't indie, they're niche perfume oils that I did with a swap that was about a year or two ago. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but that video has a lot of good first impressions for scents. A lot of scents that I actually that I really loved, and ended up purchasing full sizes of, and that I chose to not repeat in this video because this video exists. So anyway, there's that, and yeah, I'm gonna get into it. So the first brand I'm doing is Alchimia. Alchimia is really easy to find. They have both a website and an Etsy shop. They distribute internationally, and they are very, very generous with their general catalog. They have a lot of scents in stock year-round, as well as their seasonal offerings, and they have some really beautiful seasonal offerings as well as general catalog scents. So the first and one of my favorites from them is the scent Moroccan Tea. This is one of my go-to. I did a video for my comforting scents that you have seen. It was right before this one. I'll link it. In that video, I've only shown designer and niche fragrances, but if I had included if I had included my indie perfume oils in that video, this would have been there for sure. Girl, it's really beautiful. Everything I mention I'll list down below as well. If I can't find it, of course, I won't be able to, but I think everything I can. This is not an overpowering scent at all. It's a very light scent. It doesn't have any heavy tea or heavy mint. Sometimes mint can be a very strong and overpowering note. This is not like that. This is just light, crisp, cool, very refreshing. It does become a little bit bolder on the skin as it heats up, but it's never overpowering. I think you could douse yourself in this and probably not ever smell like too strong. It's a very light, refreshing fragrance. It is one of my favorite general catalog scents from Alchimia, and I wear it year round, but I love to wear it in the spring and summer, especially I live in Las Vegas. It is hot, hot, hot here, and this is very, very refreshing. So that was Alchimia's Moroccan Tea. Probably my number one suggestion from that brand for somebody who's never tried them before, or for somebody who hasn't tried a lot of Middle Eastern influenced fragrances, would be Moroccan Tea from Alchimia. So another scent that is beautiful and easy to wear from Alchimia is Ambre de Autumn. This is just, you don't even have to put it on the carton. It smells immediately like honey, rich, thick, resinous honey, and then the amber comes through. It's not a really deep scent. It's not dark. It's not sticky or incensey at all. It definitely does paint a mental picture of like the leaves turning orange, bright hay in the field, the warm sun of like an Indian summer, and then this beautiful, sweet amber and honey. It fills you up. It feels beautiful. It's rich. It's really decadent feeling. I believe that they now offer it in like an extrait formula, which I don't have, of course. This is older, but this scent, it might be limited. Well, obviously it would be limited to autumn, but it may be like a limited. It's hard to know sometimes. Of course, any purchasing information I feel is pertinent will be down below. But Amber to Autumn from Alchimia is another one that's really beautiful and would be a great addition to an indie fragrance collection for those who were just starting to build one. One that I believe, actually this one's, I think this is discontinued, so I'm not going to even. And then the last one from Alchimia I want to talk about is one that is similar to a different fragrance from a different brand, but definitely not identical. Like, definitely they don't interchange at all. This is Deus Ex Machina. I've talked about this before in a video, but I don't know which one. If anybody wants to share that in the comments, feel free. If you're like me and you like weirder, kind of different scents, this is a really good one. It's super metallic. It's got a really nice metallic note. It's got the ozone kind of note. It's not heavy, but it's definitely not a traditional scent at all. This to me smells like a feminine metallic fragrance. It has a feminine quality to it. If you were even to compare it to the other sort of metallic fragrance that Alchimia does, which I'm not sure what it's called, but I know they have two, this is a more feminine feeling fragrance. And I'm not saying it is feminine. It is unisex, of course, but it is a more, that presence isn't so like heavy and dirty and dark. It's lighter, it's airy, it's something a little bit more fresh. It's like a fresh metallic, if that's a thing. So just keep in mind that it definitely is not your standard flavor of the day perfume. It's something for those who want something a little bit different, for sure. Okay, so sorry about that. I had to take a break for a second. Now you're not straight. And now the camera is not straight. I don't know what to do. Oh well. So I chose those 3 scents from Alchimia because I found that they're all very wearable, despite Deus Ex Machina having those metallic notes, and they're extremely, extremely pretty. Alchimia does really great blends. They do a lot of beautiful oud blends, Middle Eastern inspired blends, and I highly recommend them as a indie brand for any type of perfume lover, just because they're very accessible, as I said before, and their fragrances are top quality, and very affordable. These are all affordable level indie brands. Next, I'm going to go to, all right, so let's go to the two I would call these two the easiest introductory type of niche. I would call these two the easiest introductory kind of indie brands. They were, I think, two of the brands that I really started buying from when I first got into indie perfumes, and they're two that have remained like pretty consistent in the way that they do their fragrances. One of the brands, House of Glory, did have some changes that they've done in like the past couple of years, as well as they recently rebranded a lot of product. Well, their whole like look. So everything's still the same. It's just the packaging and everything's different, which I think is great. I have no problem with brands changing it up. Go for it. But I wanted to share those with you because if you're interested in getting into indie fragrances and you don't, because there's so many brands, like you go onto Etsy and you just type in perfume, like you're gonna find so many, and there's indie brands that I don't know. I'm actually going to be getting an order of some samples that I placed from an indie brand that was introduced to me from a different perfume reviewer. So it's like there's so much. So what I know are the ones that I know about, and I'm also always discovering new brands as well. So that's just what I'm here to do, is share the ones that I feel, are great for getting started. So With that being said, the next one is House of Glory, and the first scent that I want to do, I'll do the one that's probably in stock right now, or hopefully will be in stock or restocked, and that is Milkmaid. Now, House of Glory has some products that are just like, they're not the most exciting, but they're not that bad. Like, they're kind of just whatever scents or whatever products, but they have some that are absolutely mind-blowing. For example, one of my favorite indie fragrances, Vice, is from House of Glory. I actually would show that to you today, but I don't have any. I need to order some. I have the Vice body butter, but not the perfume oil anymore. It is probably the most comforting scent I own. I wear it every night. I put it on before bed. I love it. It's Turkish mocha, or not Turkish mocha, it's like Turkish coffee, cacao or chocolate, marshmallow, little hazelnuts, a very gourmand graham cracker, I think, and then there's like a tobacco element as well. It's a very gourmand, rich fragrance, but it's not heavy. It doesn't smell like super thick. That marshmallow note keeps it very airy. Look at me talking about it. I don't even have it. Anyway, so that's Vice from House of Glory, and then also Milkmaid from House of Glory. They do a beautiful milk note. And that's one of the things that I think is a strength of theirs, because it's gorgeous. It's not too powdery. It's not too sweet. I'm not wasting this because this is my only vial. I need to get more. I love their milk note, and they have it in a couple of different fragrances. There's Milkmaid, and then there's another fragrance that has it, like a more of a gourmandy type of scent. Anyway, I think it's really nice to have a note or a scent that you do just really, really well. And there's nothing wrong with people liking just that one thing. For example, I was looking at Au Lait from Alchimia, which is another milk scent. But it doesn't have the same kind of warmth and like just milky feeling that the House of Glory milk note does. So yeah, honestly, I believe, like, what am I doing trying to show you? I believe Milkmaid should be available at House of Glory now or very soon. I think they did their spring release at the end of April. This should be in it. That will be linked down below, but I recommend this. If you don't even like milk, like to drink, you don't think you would like it, you don't think you like florals, you don't want something like very spring florally fresh, just get a sample. Just try it. It's so good. So good. The other two are fall winter scents. The first is a fall scent that's rosy cheeked. This is another thing that, another one of the really good type of scents that House of Glory does is grapefruit. Their grapefruit note is stellar. It's not too tangy. It's not bitter. And Rosy Cheeked has grapefruit. It has some florals. It has some darker, deeper notes, woody notes. On here, I can only smell the grapefruit. It's just beautiful. But it also does have some florals and some woodier notes. So check this out from House of Glory during the fall. That's Rosy Cheeked. And then for winter, I have Nefarious Gingerbread Man. I just put one of these in my empties video, which I don't know if I've put up or not, to be honest. But it was actually the pumpkin butter that went totally weird. But this scent is gorgeous. It's just a spicy gingerbread. It is so pretty. It is so pretty. It's just, they do dark scents, beautiful dark scents. The only thing that I don't love usually from House of Glory, Twice as Nice is another one of their milk scents. Sorry, that was really off the beaten track. The only thing that I usually don't find very great from House of Glory is their aromatics. I don't think they do the best aromatics. That's my opinion. Just sharing it with you. But this is, it's super spicy. It's extra spicy because it's the Nefarious Gingerbread Man. So you get that beautiful gingerbread scent, gingery flavor. It smells like gingerbread. It doesn't smell like some sort of concoction. It smells like gingerbread that somebody's just like got nutmeg, cinnamon, like all of these spices and just been right on there. It's super good, and I believe it's part of their general catalog set of winter scents now, so check that out from House of Glory for show. I'm gonna do no. I was gonna go in a different direction and whatever. So the next one that I think is a really good place for people to begin building their indie fragrance collection is with Alchemic Muse. She's been extremely dependable for years and years and years now. Not talked about as much as a lot of other indie brands, but constantly releasing, putting out favorites, changing into, trying new things. She's discontinued some things and then brought them back. She has discontinued things and brought new things. So despite the fact that the brand is a little bit under recognized, in my opinion, it's extremely, how many times can I say that? It's just a great place to start for somebody who is looking for a good scent that, they're not sure what all the hubbub is about, The fragrances are affordable. I believe that her perfume oils are $15, maybe $18 now. They're affordable. They're super, super well blended. They're not too heavy. Sometimes with perfume oil, especially depending on the oil that they're carried in, they can be a little dark or a little deep, even if it's a note you're familiar with. For example, white flowers are really good ones that go a little funky sometimes, not always, just sometimes when you use them in oil or when you wear them in oil for the first time. Spices, resins, those things tend to carry better in oil instead of florals. But it just depends. So that's why often these brands offer all of these little samples, and then so you get your samples, you try them, and then you can decide which ones you want to purchase. They offer a lot of sample sets, all sorts of things I think all perfume brands should do, to be honest, because blind buying sucks and we can't always find the scents to actually smell them. You have to rely on reviews and whatnot. Anyway, that was a total tangent. Alchemic Muse, the first one I have for you is Nostalgia. This is probably my favorite, one of my favorites. This is probably my favorite this is probably my favorite scent of hers that is not seasonal or the out of production. Nostalgia is a floral, very Victorian feeling, very rosy. It has a kind of a creaminess, and the rose is more of a tea rose than like a deep lush rose. It feels very much like a parlor, a waiting room, or waiting to be seen to, somebody. It evokes the image of like those like fainting couches and doilies on the tables, but it's a beautiful floral. If you are a rose lover, this is a great one for you. If you are not a rose lover, this one is still amazing because it doesn't smell anything like a traditional rose scent does. For example, let me just do, I have, for example, this is from Miu Miu. This is L'Eau Rosé. This is my favorite designer rose. This is a fresher rose, but it's also much brighter and sharper. This rose is just sweet and very innocent, playful, and it really makes you think of something vintage without smelling vintage. So good. I really like that. The next one is, I really debated on whether or not I wanted to talk about this next one because it's discontinued, but it is my all-time favorite fragrance from this brand. So I'm hoping that one day she is able to bring it back. But it is called Figgy Pudding. So I've talked about fragrances that I love from Alchemic Muse that have been discontinued. Nostalgia was actually discontinued and then it has been re-released. So what I have, the older version, may be slightly different than the newer version. Let me look at the label. Yeah, I have the older version labels. So anyway, so that was done. So I'm hoping that one day Figgy Pudding will show up again. This is a Christmas scent. It's a winter Yule holiday scent, but it's just, oh my god, this is jammy. It's jammy and rich and plummy and just really, really just dripping with sweet honey glaze. Just, oh. I had this in perfume oil. I had this in body butter. I had this in hair oil. I had this in every format it came in, and over the years I've slowly been like, they've been drying out until now I only have a perfume oil left and a sample left. It's so gorgeous. So I really hope that it is released. There is a new scent that she carries that I have not tried, but is also a kind of gourmand Christmas scent. That may be a good alternative for Figgy Pudding. Like I said, I haven't tried it to compare, but I'll list it down below if they aren't available right now. These two, the next two, are both winter. This one and Figgy Pudding and this next one are both winter scents, so they aren't available now, but this one that I'm showing you now will be available come Christmas time, and it is called Wassail. I hope it's available at least. It was available last year, so I have no reason to expect it's not going to be available, but once again, this is the kind of thing that I can't predict. I can only go by what's happened in the past. This is, Wassail, of course, is what you do when you go house to house, you sing carols, and then you drink mulled wine or cider if you're underage. And so this scent is that kind of mulled scent, mulling spices, apple, wine, like kind of getting like a pretty good coating on there because this one's beautiful. It's citrus, clove, nutmeg, again, like I said, those mulling spices. The top smells like orange and clove, and then as it dries down it becomes more like a wine kind of scent. It's just delicious. It's really like, it's really, 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 really pretty. It's just so it's fresh, and it's got like a little bit of pine scent. So it's like fresh and woody and holiday festive all at once. This is probably one of my favorites for wearing at Christmas time. It's just, it feels so festive. I love it. I love it. So that was Wassail from Alchemic Muse. Okay, so this video is about 30 minutes long now before editing. So I will go ahead and talk about solstice scents before I end this video. The other fragrances are either one-offs or I'm not sure how accessible they are, so I'm going to do solstice scents. So the first one that I have is Chiffon. This is a general catalog scent, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous layering scent. It's vanilla, sweet, milky, very beautiful for layering. A lot of times she will sell out of her general catalog scents, but they just have to wait for a restock. They usually happen at least once a month. This one's very pretty. More vanilla than florals. It's sweeter than, I have Cameo. I use Cameo as a layering note, and this chiffon is very similar to Cameo, except Cameo is more floral, and Cameo is more floral skin, I would say, and chiffon is more vanilla sweet. Super pretty. It does make you think of like a bride. I really like that. Great for layering, like I said. I can't talk. The next one I have is Cellar, and I actually chose Cellar to talk about because I had mentioned in my, I think in my indie scent there's a bug in here. I keep getting distracted. I had mentioned in my indie scent collection video of Coco Pink's Neverworld and how it was like a really dark, earthy, heavy scent. Cellar is similar, but it's much more wearable. This is like, if you like a really dark, deep, earthy scent, this is a better choice than Netherworld. It's just, Netherworld is dark, man. It is really... You don't need much here with Cellar especially, but with the darker scents, you don't need a lot. Like I said, that oil is going to amplify the scent notes, no matter what they are. The oil is going to amplify with it because the oil does not evaporate. Like, first of all, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not trying to give you chemistry lessons, and I think probably everyone knows this. Obviously, perfume is an alcohol, and the alcohol evaporates, leaving the perfume molecules behind. However, the oil, of course, does not evaporate like the perfume does. It stays adhered to the molecules. It stays, oh my god, this bug. It stays adhered to the molecules, and it helps them adhere to your skin better. So definitely, yeah, there's differences in the way that you wear oil-based perfumed, and the way that you buy oil-based perfume, the way that people blend oil-based perfumes have to be different. Anyway, Cellar smells like dark, like damp concrete and earth, like wet ground and wet concrete. If you like that sort of scent, I like I said, I like different type of fragrances. I like things that are a little bit darker or a little bit more edgy, but this kind of like damp earth scent or damp cement, wet cement scent is not my taste. It's not my style, so I don't love that. The next one that I have from Black Violet. The next one that I have from Solstice Scents is a gourmand. It is called Black Forest, and if you have ever had Black Forest cake, that's exactly what you're getting, with a little bit more of like the deep, like rich undertones, a little bit less of like the cherry and sugary tops. It's so good. It's like chocolate cherry frosting. It's really delicious. I have this in the alcohol-based perfume spray. I really love this in the oil as well. It's just beautiful, and then it has a little bit of that pine note, woody notes. Oh god, so good. I will say this. So I have mentioned that, you know, Alchemic Muse does really like beautiful fresh florals and citruses, things that most people don't do well or don't do as much of in oil-based fragrances, and that Alchimia Alchimia does great Middle Eastern style fragrances. Alchemic Muse does great fruity or great florals. House of Loy has their beautiful milk notes, and they do a really excellent citrus notes. Solstice Scents is absolutely uncomparable with their woods, grassy, like things like vetiver, woods, patchoulis, moss, anything like that. They're just so phenomenal. Tobacco, like the dried tobacco scent, Old Havana is just beautiful. This has that hint of pine, but is never overpowering. It does not take away from the gourmand scent at all. It just keeps it really grounded and really wearable. Their Solstice Scents has a lot of fragrances that are talked a lot about for good reason. Blackburn's Parlor is one I can think of off the top of my head. Main Moon is one I can think of off the top of my head. Black Forest is one of them, but of all of them, I think Black Forest is one that is most deserving of the accolades it receives. It is a really, truly well done fragrance. A real gem. Really done. Well done. And then the last one I have from Solstice Scents that I'm going to share with you is Pinion Truffle. Again, highlighting their ability, or her ability to blend these very woody, natural scent. That's probably the best word. Like the really natural scent components. And blend them with just about anything and make it just amazing. I'm trying to get this one is, again, it's much stronger on the woods, so it doesn't need so much application. But it's, again, this one, if Black Forest was like the cake and then the pine, Pinion Truffle is like the pine and then the truffle trailing behind. The cacao kind of scent, the cocoa scent is definitely an afterthought. The woodier notes are much more prominent, but it's still able to be both woody and sweet, chocolatey, not necessarily super heavy-handed on the chocolate note, but definitely just kind of woody and sweet, a bit playful and fresh without being overpowering. Just so well done. These are just very well done. So anyway, I don't know. Oh my God. There were some others that I wanted to talk about, but I think I'm going to leave it here. I am running out of time anyway on my camera, so I'm going to end that. But I will do more in the future for sure, so just keep watching. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here today. Happy Star Wars Day, whether it's May the 4th or whatever day. And I will see you next time. Pew, 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 pew.